Lou Hamilton from Audible Elegance here in Cincinnati, Ohio. We are located in Old Montgomery on Montgomery Road, a couple doors north of the original inn. We have a website, audibleelegance.com. Please do visit it. We have information that comes in from manufacturers, which we post, sales opportunities, for example. We have a new and used section, and we are getting a fair amount of used gear in right now, so you can enjoy taking a look at that. This video is for everyone pretty much in the northern hemisphere now. The people who've been in the southern hemisphere have already been through this. And it's our friend, Mr. Static. And the most common complaint we get about static is when people touch electronics and the next thing you know, their display goes wacky or causes a different input to happen. So static can be there. And the most common one is where you have something like a felt mat. Riga uses them, Lynn uses them, a lot of people use them. And the record winds up sticking to the mat itself. Now, there are several attempts to deal with this. One of the most famous devices out there was called the Zero Stat. And what that did is it looked like a little gun, and if you squeezed it too hard, it made all sorts of funny sounds. But the whole idea was to blast the area with a static charge to neutralize the static that was actually sitting here. And I had a Zero Stat, and for me it was 50-50 in terms of results. And it just slowed down the process of me enjoying a record. So, wasn't a fan per se, but they are out there. And they might work very, very well for you. More importantly is to control the humidity in your home. And we will probably fairly shortly begin to run humidifiers here. If your humidity level is going into the 30% range and below, that's usually the area where you really start picking up static. And as I said, it can affect where you're controlling things, your records and such. And you can use different devices for putting humidity in the air. I do recommend, if you're going to use that route, that you make sure that you keep it clean. They can be the source of bacterial buildup, and then that becomes a real issue for people who have, lung problems. We don't want to start that. At home, I actually make it kind of fun. So I have those fountains that kind of make the little smoke coming off of them. And that's how I put humidity, in my room. And they light up, and it's all kind of fun. And when I go to listen, I turn it off, and I'm happy camper. There are vaporizers that use an element that fractures it and sends it up a chimney and blows it into the room. There are the wick type. The wick type you have to be very careful about for two reasons. One, there's a surface for bacteria to build up. Number two is, it's with any vaporizer or these units, it's really in your best interest to use distilled water. And if you have the wick type and you've got a lot of mineral deposits in your water, that actually gets wicked into the filters and just really kills them fairly quickly. And when you pull the old ones out, they feel like hardened bricks, and that's all the mineral buildup in them. So I use vaporizers. Let me grab one. I'll be right back, and I'm going to show you one of the little gauges that we use and we actually sell. And here's my little buddy. It's made by Accurite. It gives me both humidity and temperature of the room. And you can pick these things up almost anywhere, probably on eBay and Amazon and everything else. But you get an idea of what your humidity level is in a given environment. And different rooms can have different readings, by the way. So you got to watch that. Temperatures are usually fairly common, but can vary. But they're very simple. They hang on the wall, and there's a little hook for it. They're also going to be magnetic, and that's it. And this gives you an idea of what's going on. And in the northern hemisphere, we haven't really, folks up north, let's say Michigan, North Dakota and such, they're already deep into running their heaters. So the heaters really dry out the environment. So they're already in the game of static. And probably Northern Europe and such like that are into it because the snow's already begun to fall. So there you are. It's a fun little idea, and it's a lot simpler than using Zero Stats. and actually it's probably better for the house and everything else than you. Thanks.